Greetings, and welcome to another episode of Fair Game. In today's episode, we're going to be covering what is easily the single best-selling French video game of all time. In this case, it is the brainchild of Paul Cuisset, the game known as Flashback, The Quest for Identity. One of several games that Cuisset worked on, this game, like all of Cuisset's works, really shows off what 16-bit graphical muscle was capable of. It was one of the first games to feature huge amounts of, animated cutscenes, and really showed off the graphic muscle of not only the SNES, but of the Genesis, which it originally was on. Overall, it is an excellent game, and for the most part, it kind of plays sort of like Prince of Persia. This little animated sequence shows pretty much only a clip of the actual story so far, and it generally falls upon the player, unless they have the manual, to determine what the fuck just happened. I would like to point out that when I first got this game, I was playing a rental, and as such, I didn't have a manual or anything like that, and had no idea what the hell I was doing. So for the most part in this game, I was flying blind, with zero idea how to do most of the shit in the game. Of course, with veterancy came everything else. Of course, this is the very first scene in the game. We're waking up, or at least our main character, Conrad Hart, is, and knocking over that little thing that looks like a paperweight. And we are now in the jungle. And there's no way to go that way. That is specifically thrown there to actually fool you. I know a number of people who've tried to get across. You can't. Interestingly, if you do manage to somehow get across, there's just another small room to the right of it with an energy charge station. So, and there's no way back. So we just picked up the hollow cube right off of that little that pressure plate, which is our first encounter with those. The Holocube's a little device whose sole purpose is to shout exposition at us and basically give us an idea of what's going on so far for the plot and what we need to do. Albeit it does so with a nice and cool little cutscene. Ironically, the Holocube, I think, or something like it, is really only used once in this game. And of course, the hologram tells us that, he may not have any memory of it, but his friend Ian, who lives in New Washington, will tell him everything. And that's pretty much it. It may look like it, but Conrad himself is not on Earth at the moment. He is on Titan, which is basically a new planet. This is far, far future. Fortunately, Conrad is armed, and that's a good thing, because we are going to be encountering a lot of stuff that is going to try to kill us. The pistol itself does not work like the guns in Out of This World, so it has unlimited ammo, and it kills most things in 1 or 2 minutes, at least early on. That thing we just shot was a robot watchdog. It basically rolls around. If it spots you, it rolls towards you. It will eventually extend a taser rod and try to shock you with it. If you break the taser rod, the thing explodes as a defense measure. That's a mutant. They're armed with a big gun. They take one shot to kill. Pretty easy. One thing to note about mutants is that while they're pretty much the weakest enemy in the game, their gun has hilariously harsh knockback, so it will knock you on your ass pretty much no matter where you're hit. Some of the guns you can get hit by and you'll stay standing, not that one. Here we're going to use the rock to open that pressure plate. We're going to run. He's going to kill the watchdog for us. Shoot and kill the mutant, and we pick up our rock. And here we find the cartridge. For the longest goddamn time, I did not know what this did. Because, again, I was flying blind. I had no idea what I was doing. Anyway, over here we have another watchdog, and I'm slowly going here to show you what's back here. Again, watchdogs are only vulnerable if you destroy their taser rod. The explosion can and will hurt you, by the way. If Conrad falls from a height of, more than, I think it's 40 feet, he dies. So you gotta be careful here. And there we go. And we killed another mutant. Now here we got a disintegrator. These things will kill you instantly if you walk into them, or for the most part make contact with them. You got a cool little cutscene for that, but it's still pretty disturbing. Those are electrified floors. They will also kill you instantly if you touch them. There's a lot of things in this game that will kill you instantly, and yet still not as many as Out of This World. Over there we have one of the most important things in the game, the energy generator. The main purpose of this is to recharge your shields, but it can also be used to recharge the cartridge. I did not know this the first time I encountered one. But you can actually use... You're supposed to actually charge the cartridge up here. And it fully energizes it so it can be used. Now, before we press onward, we're going to head up here, draw our pistol, and take out the mutant that was on the bridge up here, because we gotta come back here. We don't have to go up there now, and really there's a little encounter there as a guy. By the way, you notice that little gap in the bridge on the left side? You're able to roll through that, but in practice it's not a good idea to do so. Depending on where you roll from, there's a high chance that you will roll off and into the air, and crash down on the ground below and die. So for the most part, you want to take the way I used, even if it does take a few seconds longer. All right. Now here's why we got that little panel earlier, because there's a cartridge left here. We put our newly charged up cartridge in the SNES of Doom over here. It activates the device, and the force bridge is now activated. And here we are, there's more shocking floors. Hate these goddamn things. Very rarely you can run over one without setting it off. But you can't step directly on the shocking part or you die. A couple of times I've seen my friend Steve climb up this. This elevator only goes down if you have if the pressure plate's being activated, so you just put a rock on it. Alternately, you can throw a rock against the wall. Both ways work. And here we get the teleporter. This is identical to a device you get much later on called the teleport receiver, which is part of a 2-item set that you can throw the receiver and then you'll teleport to it when you use the teleport device. Unfortunately, this one is not programmed to do anything for you. It's specifically for someone else in this level who you will see in a bit. Still very important, though. You cannot beat this level without that. And here we have a save point. Do not go by the fact that it says save. It only gives you a true save in the computer versions of the game. Instead, it acts more like a continue point. If you die, you start there. We're going to kill that watchdog. Due to the sheer number of objects on the screen, the game slows down a little on this particular screen. Which is rare, but it does happen. And there we go. Now we're up on top. And time to jump over another shocking floor. God, I hate these things. Alrighty. Now here, we're going to take advantage of this game has a really robust physics engine, as you're about to see. Enemies can friendly fire one another, as I showed you earlier with the watchdog. Damn it! No, you're supposed to shoot one another. Damn it! No! Come on! God damn it! Well, one of them died. Alright, at least I'll get to show you the energy charger here for the shields. And we plunk that and run button. And there we go. And it charges up our Duracell shield battery, and there we go. Shields are fully recharged. You hold 4 shields at a time. If you're hit at all, you lose 1 shield. If you're hit when you have 0 shields, you die. This is another simple little device. Click the switch, disintegrator shuts off. If you step on the pressure plate, disintegrator turns back on. Oh, crap! Damn it! I forgot about the watchdog there. Now, most of the enemies are immune to traps, including the watchdog, so... Now, the enemies are also they're susceptible to sound. So, what happens if we take this rock and throw it? He starts patrolling because he heard something. Just drop down when his back's turned and shoot him in the back. And pick up the credits. Credits are money in this game. I gotta say that is pretty cool looking money. Like, that just screams, I'm in the future. Those are laser turrets. They're not currently activated, but when they are, they fire endlessly and pretty much have unlimited health. And ammo. So you don't want to piss those off. Alright, we killed another mutant. Pick up more credits. Like, that is money that really says, I'm in the fucking future. Alright, here we go. Now, the game expects you to climb up and use the, that area right there with the pressure plate. You don't have to. Just climb over it, pick up more money, this time 500. Climb back down. Use the energy generator, because why the hell not? I always thought it was kind of cool that the keys in this game look like crystalline blocks. That also said, that's another, you know, I'm in the fucking future thing right there. Crystal keys. I want a crystal key for my door. Again, if you go the direct route, the little laser cannon pods open up. They basically make the getting across that a giant pain in the ass. So, again, use the route I took. It doesn't matter. I don't have to go back here. Now we get to use our newfound crystal block key. And we put it in the lock, and the door is now activated. I use Mr. Continue Point again. I want to point out that in the Genesis version, saving at a continue point took like fucking 10-15 minutes, depending on where you were. In the SNES version, it takes literally about a second. So while the Genesis version does have slightly better music, and has slightly better audio cues in certain areas, the SNES version has a slightly tightened up frame rate, and, of course, it doesn't take a year and a day to save. So, make of that what you will. The game has a nice amount of, like, password backup. All the various difficulties in the game have their own passwords, so you can screw around and get where you want to go, just using the passwords. Well, this level's pretty short, and we're, like, I think, like, about 60% of the way through it. The later levels are much bigger than this. Like, the New Washington level, which is, like, the level 2 of the game, is, like, literally, like, 3 times longer than this. Mostly because of what you gotta do. And then you have the third stage, which is pretty action-oriented and pretty straightforward. Help. Help. Yeah, there's an injured guy on the corner. So let's go talk to him, see what he has to say. Help me, young man. I've been attacked by mutants. And I can't walk. I've fallen and I can't get up. Find my teleporter. I need urgent medical assistance. So we give him the teleporter, which is his. Thanks, you just saved my life. And with that, the old man was off. But he left his ID card behind, which we will happily filch. What I think is kind of funny is, I have never figured out whose ID that's supposed to be. And you use it in the New Washington level when you finally, you know, when you're applying for papers. So, who's this guy, and why is his ID so, you know, passable as Conrad? I'm probably making myself sick trying to think of why. But it's still really funny. This game is also home to the most cynically enterprising old man I have ever seen. Oh, that was smooth, Jameis. There's force bridge. I gotta get one of those too. Get like a forced driveway. That's just something that screams, I'm in the future. And here we go. Use our card on the ID card lock, and it opens. I have never successfully killed that guy without getting hit myself. Well, there was at one time I hacked and got the force field, but that was a different story entirely. This is a fight that's not really to your favor, but there's a trick you can do. You take a rock, you throw it at the camera, you hit the camera, and let the laser turrets circle out. Now the key is we just have to stop the laser turret's line of fire. I'm also going to show you a little hidden area here. We're basically at the end of the level. To get to New Washington, you have to jump into this hole. But if I were you, I'd use an anti-G belt. Where can I find one? Well, now I can sell you one. 500 credits. The most cynically enterprising old man ever. Bon voyage, young man. And he gives you the Nintendo DS, anti-gravity belt. Actually, in the menu, it looks more like a Game Boy. That would be hilarious if that's what it actually was. Now, you're not normally supposed to be able to get over this, but if you're a real pro, it's possible to get up there. And what you get for your trouble is a small room with an energy charger. Enjoy. On the other hand, we do need to recharge our shields 1 unit from getting zapped by that guy earlier, so may as well take advantage. It had a different sound effect in the Genesis version when you did that. It was, you heard, like, this electrical zapping, and then it would go make a sort of noise. Like I said, the Genesis version had better sound effects, like, for, like, a lot of scenes. The Super Nintendo version does have a better frame rate, and tends to slow down a little less, though. And here we jump down the hole, which starts off seeming like, you know, a death animation, but like when you fall down a hole, but now we have our anti-gravity belt. And we have landed at the bottom of the shaft. And made it to level 2. So that was the first level of this game. Enjoy.